It's the NFL on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Chargers, coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand. Kickoff just moments away. Charles, quickly, keys to the game.
For me, it's coaching. Who prepared his team the best going into this one to give them the confidence to believe that they would win the game? That's who's going to come out of this one on top.
Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started. And we are underway in Southern California. And they'll get him down inside the 30 to 27. Here are the Chargers ready to go on offense, led by their first-round pick in 2020, the man out of Oregon, Justin Herbert.
And it certainly hadn't taken Herbert long to earn his status as one of the league's best and most entertaining passers. Locked and loaded at every snap. And the second he sees an opening, that ball is soaring downfield. You better be on your toes against him on defense. The second you turn your head, he'll burn you.
Herbert on the first play wants to pass it. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. 5 yards on the game's first play. Second down. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. That's complete. It's Ladd McConkey. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1 yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
Herbert finds Johnston. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
They'll run with a second-round pick from April's draft. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That second down play nets a -4.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and making sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos 30. A good pickup there of 20 yards. They clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease. Feels good about what he's doing. I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that. I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. Finding Williams once more, complete. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his third completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
Finally, an incompletion. He was 5 of 5 before that last throw to start this game.
So he is human. All right, so we found out after the way he began that, okay, he can have an incompletion here or there. But I love what they've done right from the word go. They just need to pay it off with a touchdown now.
Again, Herbert. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, they're not hiding who their central focus is on offense. Charles, he already now has 4 receptions here on this opening drive.
And I know people who are watching the game are thinking, did they forget about him in the defensive game plan? But it's actually been the opposite. They're giving him a lot of attention, but he's been very creative and savvy in his route running and finding seams and openings in order to create these completions.
A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll make it second down. And so far, a very nice, methodical opening drive.
This has the feel of a scripted drive that they rehearsed perfectly all week long, and now they're executing it on game day.
Script looks good so far. Here's Herbert. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Justin Herbert keeping it himself from a yard out. And the Chargers are on the board first here this afternoon. Solid finish to the opening drive. And look, when you get down around the goal line, you have to account for his legs. We saw it right there.
Yeah, that's the added dimension to the offense, isn't it? Remember what the offensive line coach told us earlier this week? I told my guys, he's going to run it. We have to make sure he stays protected and give him an opportunity.
For the extra point, Cameron Dicker. And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And able to get this out to the 25. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Nix from the shotgun. Chargers able to get the pressure and bring him down. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. On the run, this is J.K. Dobbins. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Well, a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Nix to the air. Throw left side, complete to Ingram. A gain of 4, not enough, and it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
The Broncos send out their punter now. Back deep for L.A. is Darius Davis. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Chargers get set to go here for their 2nd drive. They've got the 7-0 lead. Now they've got the football back after their defense got the stop, CD, and you get the feeling if they could score here, they really have all the momentum on their side.
And you just wonder right now, is the quarterback and the play caller totally in sync? Are they of one mind that, hey, what worked last time? Let's keep doing it until they stop us. Or do they go to a different section in the playbook, show them something different? Either way, they want a repeat of their 1st drive.
6 yards there on the keeper at 2nd down. A little do-it-yourself run right there and a nice game.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Here's Herbert. Short throw to Disley. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Hampton. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 1st down Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. There was a little space there, yes, but that was a well-executed run by the rookie.
It was, and he wasn't one of the higher-rated rookie running backs coming out. He's probably on the next tier. But let me tell you something. If he becomes more consistent and continues to have that drive to be one of the best, we'll see more of that in the future.
Back to throw here, Herbert. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. D.J. Jones able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Up the middle they go. Hampton. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Now it's Herbert. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal? That's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So as it turns out, that sack doesn't wind up costing them, Charles. They at least get points, get 3 of them.
Yeah, that's where your kicker can really come to your rescue because, you know, after the sack, there was a little consternation there. Are we out of field goal range? Are we going to be able to get 3? In this case, he stepped right up and gave them exactly what they needed.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They'll look to get something started. They need to, down 10-0 early as they've got it 1st and 10. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. That's to about the 28. Second down coming up.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's the second down and 6. To throw, here's Nix. A short throw to Ingram. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Off the play fake. Here's Nix. And that will be incomplete.
Every offense tells you they want to come out and start fast. That's not unusual at all. But this group, they've yet to get much rolling through their first 2 drives. It looks like they have to give up the football again after this one.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. They'll call that a 33-yard punt with no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Herbert now. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Now a 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Herbert. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. 23 yards the pickup there. (10-0) the score after 1 on EA Sports. Charger football to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Hampton, and not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
A first carry for Najee Harris. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
Back to throw now on first down.
That one complete to McConkey.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up second down. Operating from the gun, Herbert. This will be caught at about the 5.
And the Chargers are going to have a first and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Out of the gun, Herbert. And it's caught. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's second and goal. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now they'll bring one of their tight ends in motion right. They'll try to run this one in. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. Taking it in from a yard out. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead.
Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Dicker down to tack on the extra point.
He's got it, and it's 17-0. So that drive goes 8 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And that's pretty good coverage by the kick team, as he'll only be able to get this past the 15-yard line and no further.
And Denver getting set to take the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left.
A fake on the jet sweep and a give to Dobbins. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
2nd and 6.
They'll go again with Dobbins. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, your front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit, and that's what he did on that play.
So just 3 yards on the completion there, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks, don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And out will come the offense as they take over. getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going, but we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. Complete to Johnston here. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A big pickup of 38.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On the option right, Herbert. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it. And while he didn't get a 1st down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
This 2nd and 4. Up the middle they go. Hampton, he will push his way down to about the 14. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And the Chargers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
Looking to throw. Herbert. This is caught. Touchdown, Chargers.
Quentin Johnston.
A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Chargers are able to add on to their first half lead.
You know, in golf, they often talk about playing the course and not worrying about what the other players are doing, what their scores are. That's essentially what we're seeing from this offense. They're just having fun and doing what they feel like doing today.
Extra point try now from Dicker.
And the lead is now 24. So span 5 plays.
And it was Quentin Johnston who finished that drive off with a touchdown grab. Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Broncos are about set to go on offense. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And attempted a deep ball there, and they didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage.
Working out of the gun is Nix.
They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 44-yard line, here's a 2nd and 8. Throwing Nix. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. To throw is Nix. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
He really looked comfortable there, scanning the situation, analyzing things, feeling the pressure, and then stepping up right through the middle and sprinting for a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. A give up the middle to Dobbins. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Tito Ogbanaya making that tackle.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. 2nd and 9 from the 44. Operating from the gun, here's Nix. Over the middle, he finds Vele. So the completion good for just 3. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now it's Nix. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt a kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
Here's Nix. He'll swing this out to Dobbins. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. They work now on 2nd and 9. Operating from the gun. Nix. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far. Even backed up late, they're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Back to throw. Nix. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Sutton. And he is going to be stopped at the 12, short of the first down. Now Lutz for the field goal try. And this one will be a 29-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns.
Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Chargers offense and Justin Herbert getting set for this next drive. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. The Charger drive about to get going. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room.
Over the middle, complete. That's Williams. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play.
Second down and a little more than a yard here.
Herbert. He finds his man, complete. That's Hampton. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 11 and a first down, L.A.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass.
And Herbert going to slide to a stop, and he has a first down.
Turns out to be a great idea to tuck that one. Good for 24 yards. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter.
And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
They'll go play action with Nix.
The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that first down run.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Nix.
A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield with man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
Here's 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Nix.
He'll connect on the out route with Ingram.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play.
More from L.A. in a moment.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Nix. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Atkins. And he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get ahead of steam up, boy, then you got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on 1st down.
From the 33, here's 2nd down at 7. Nix to throw again. He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They get 17 down to the 17, and it's a 1st down. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the 1st half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
They'll look to throw again. He finds his man, complete. It's Atkins. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal.
Another modest gain there on that one, and I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it.
And it'll be intercepted. Derwin James with a pick.
And the Chargers are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
They were well aware of the scoreboard as they went into halftime, and they know how tough it's been to put up any kind of points. But if there's a positive after that play, is that they were able to take a shot at the end zone on their opening drive of this half. The negative, though, that shot at 6 ended in an interception, and we know that's not going to jumpstart this struggling offense.
Now we'll look at the Chargers offense. They get ready for their first possession of the 2nd half.
And they had the big halftime lead. Their defense just helped them out further by forcing the turnover, so things are starting to look pretty rosy.
They certainly are, but they've got to be careful about getting complacent, though. They still need to go out and run their offense efficiently.
Herbert going to lead up the Chargers here, 1st and 10.
At the 20. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
Hit and drop behind the line by Dre Greenlaw.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave him 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Hampton. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here now a 3rd down and 8.
From the shotgun, here's Herbert. He's airing it out for Williams. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And Riley Moss able to get a hand in there and knock it away.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
Here's J.K. Scott now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. A 39-yard punt, a return of 5. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10.
Denver's offense now set to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On play action, here's Nix. That's caught. It's Marvin Mims.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
And this is what they're going to need more of. It's the 3rd quarter. You're trailing. You've got to come out with a renewed sense of purpose, and that's a nice way to kick off the drive with good yardage and a 1st down.
Dobbins running out of the gun. He'll take this to the 46. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco 1st down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the 1st half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big 2nd half.
Still in search of their 1st touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Another run here with Dobbins.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the 1st half, and that trend is continuing here.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11.
They'll run up the gut with Dobbins.
And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It'll be a gain of 11, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they're able to move the sticks with a gain of 4 on 3rd and inches.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
Give all that credit defensively to Khalil Mack. A great stop in the backfield.
Well, as a wideout, when you take that handoff and you're coming around the edge, you're expecting to see nothing but empty space in front of you. But if not...
well, things can go south in a hurry, and that's exactly what we saw on that play with a loss.
He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9.
There wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
Nix to the air.
Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. Another good drive, Charles, but it looks like another that might end in a field goal try.
They've made some nice plays. They've given themselves opportunities, but as you noted, another field goal attempt coming up. And that's not how they want to end drives. They've got to figure out what's the final touch that they need to push it across the goal line.
Yeah, still yet to find the end zone. The kick by Lutz is good, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So another good job defensively because they've allowed 3 trips into the red zone, but only the 2 field goals.
Yeah, that's the bend but don't break, isn't it? And they really didn't get broken at all because if you're running off the field having allowed 2 field goals and 3 trips in the red zone, you've actually come out ahead.
Yeah, flip it over to the other side. The offense, they'll hope to cash in for 6 next trip. Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Possession switching back now to the Chargers. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and that'll bring up second down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now 2nd and 9. Now it's Herbert. Steps away, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. D.J. Jones picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. Third and 19. Here's Herbert. Now a deep one for Johnston. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
2 things you can do in that situation. Run it and punt the football or try and take your shot at getting the first down. They chose the latter, but they'll have to punt all the same.
Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And it's fielded at the 34. It's a 43-yard punt, a return of 5, and it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So the Broncos coming out now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. To throw, here's Nix. Throwing middle, and it's complete. It'll be a gain of 5, and that will bring up 2nd down. Nix from the shotgun. Open man downfield. It's Vele. And oh, so close as he takes it all the way to the 2-yard line. A huge play there for Denver. 54 yards.
Oh, big-time credit. What a play design there. They wanted to get him loose in the open field, and they succeeded. He had all sorts of room to operate in, and they finally track him down inside the 5-yard line.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. They'll run. Here's Burton, the fullback. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Mike Burton taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Broncos are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
Lutz with the extra point, and that makes it 24-13. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. L.A. set to take over again on offense. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10. Play action this time for Justin Herbert. He's going to air one out. And he is caught at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, L.A. Will Dissly, 64 yards. And the Chargers will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd.
Well, that is certainly a deflator right there defensively. Their guys just came off of a touchdown drive. They're back in the game, and then bam, they give up a touchdown 1 play later. How about that?
And the momentum, which seemingly had shifted the other direction, thought we might be seeing a comeback. That momentum right back the other way.
Well, that is certainly not complimentary football that we saw right there. The defense is supposed to help their offense, not give up another touchdown.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And he won't quite make it to the 25. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And right now, Charles, it just feels like they're trying to keep pace. They did score the touchdown last time out, but they still trail by double digits here. We'll see if this offense is once again up to the task.
Yeah, and I think that after the last drive, they've got to be pretty revved up, don't you think? Everything they were doing was working pretty well. They go back out there with the same mindset, play at the same tempo and the same pace. Still a lot of time left to make something happen in this one.
And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Well, I think after that run, the defense get back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. 2nd and 4.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The offense on third down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 4. Back to throw. Nix. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. Denver has the first down, the play going for 15 yards. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
2nd down and 3. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. They'll get that complete to Vele. And the Broncos are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Now they'll send a tight end in motion left. Dobbins will take it in. Touchdown, Denver. Well, he finishes off the drive with a touchdown run, Charles. Remember, he also had a catch on this drive as well.
And that's what running backs want to be in today's NFL, a complete back. 3 downs, stay on the field, run it and catch it, and he gets it done.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And that one makes this an 11-point deficit now. That time a 9-play drive. And it's finished off by a touchdown run from J.K. Dobbins. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Chargers offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
The Charger drive about to get going. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the fourth, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Herbert. A short throw to Conklin, the tight end. And he'll take this from 147-yard line to the other. A gain of 6. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 4. Back to throw here, Herbert. Short throw to Disley. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll get it inside the 35.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Herbert now. Johnston on the quick slam. And this is going to be another first down as they make the tackle at the Broncos' 15-yard line. The Chargers passing game rolling a bit here. They've got another first. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the fourth quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game. And trusting this quarterback, I think he continued to do so.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. Dre Greenlaw in there on the tackle.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
They run the counter. Hampton. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. From the gun, Herbert on 3rd down. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And the Chargers are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. Lad McConkey, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Chargers have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up first downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Extra point up and good by Dicker. And the lead is up to 18 now. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with the Chargers getting into the end zone.
Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Gets this quickly to Ingram.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Oh, that's a nice job of clearing space in the middle of the field for your tight end. He's going to start behind the line and run an angle route, hoping to kind of get lost in the middle of the field. And this is put right on him, and he's able to pick up a first down.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Will go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
To throw is Nix. And that's going to be caught by Sutton.
And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Nix looking to throw again.
Eluding the pressure right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Well, this has certainly turned into a showcase game for what he can do on the ground because they're just continuing to give him chances to run it, and he's earning every additional carry by putting up positive yardage on each run.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports.
Here's 2nd and 4 from the 24. Now it's Nix.
Finds his tight end Ingram. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a first and goal.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a first and goal.
Here's Nix.
Yeah, he's got it. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal?
Throwing Nix.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, there's a well-timed collision to jar that one
free. This likely a must-have. 3rd and goal. They'll try and throw. Here's Nix.
And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete.
That was a difficult catch, and I admire the fact that he actually caught the football, worked so hard to get his feet down in bounds, tried to do the toe tap. My dad's an accomplished tap dancer. I'm not sure he would have gotten his feet in on that one.
Is he really? By the way?
That he is.
How about that? What about young Davis?
No, it did not. It did not cross.
It didn't carry over.
No, it stopped right there.
And he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. The run is turned away on 4th and goal from the 2. And the Chargers hold tight down near the goal line. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
L.A. readies for its next possession. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
The Charger drive about to get going. And checking the timeouts, they do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
2nd and 9. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
So it's a win here for the L.A. Chargers, and it was thanks to the fine play of their quarterback, CD, Justin Herbert.
Yeah, he was definitely the X factor. He had 3 touchdown passes, ran for another, and really had this defense grasping for straws throughout much of this ball game.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
With that, we say so long from Southern California.